broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Well, welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, technology news of the week, the show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host and technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise. Our co-host here, Mike Day, is in studio, and he's the award-winning author and our human behavior expert. Now we're live streaming on our show on four of the most popular platforms, including, of course, YouTube, Twitch TV, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we're encouraging Blue Sky. Please get your streaming service up and going. If you need any help, send me an email at nathan.mumm@techtimeradio.com, and I will help you so we can get streaming on that too.
Hit your Blue Sky account.
There you go. All right. We encourage you to visit us online at techtimeradio.com also and become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/techtimeradio. We're all friends from different backgrounds, but we bring the best technology show possible weekly for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We're glad to have Odie, our producer, at the control panel today. Welcome, everyone. Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
That music makes me feel so good. All right, welcome to Tech Time Radio. This week, we're going to break down the biggest technology stories of the week and expose the trends shaping our digital future. Today, we're diving into a major court ruling that could shake Apple's grip on the App Store. What does this mean for developers and your wallet? Plus, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has something to say about those polite prompts to AI. Could your manners be costing millions? Then Visa is pushing AI beyond simple chatbots into managing your finances. But how much control should we give these digital assistants? And in our letter segment, we're unveiling some of the latest scams hitting inboxes and messages submitted by listeners like you. In addition to that, of course, we have our standard features, including Mike's mesmerizing moment, our technology fail of the day, and our Nathan Nugget. But the most important part, our pick of the day whiskey tasting, where we selected picks will either get 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up by the end of the show. This is our, top of the month tasting. So that means we're going to have a lot of alcohol that Mark will come on in here and he'll explain what we got going on here. So it looks like we have 4 tastings that we get to sample today. So 4 shots. Yeah. Considering all that's going on, I think a couple more shots would be even better. Now, though, let's move on to the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right. A judge just blew up Apple's control of the App Store. The judge in Epic versus Apple has banned Apple from charging a commission on purchases made outside of the App Store itself. Let's go to Lisa Walker for more on this story.
Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers just ruled that, effective immediately, Apple is no longer allowed to collect fees on purchases made outside the app's software program and blocks the company from restricting how developers can point users. Apple says it will appeal the order. The ruling was issued as part of Epic Games' ongoing legal dispute against Apple. Rogers also says that Apple willfully chose not to comply with her previous injunction from her original 2021 ruling. Apple thought this court would tolerate such insubordination was a gross miscalculation, she said. The judge also referred the case to the U.S. attorney to review it for possible criminal contempt proceedings. An apple a day keeps the lawyers in play. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right. So according to the judge, has stated that Apple is prohibited from, 1, imposing any commissions or fees on purchases that consumers make outside an app. So that means if you have an app, and this is really going to Epic and Fortnite. This is where this battle originally started. And if you want to do microtransactions in Fortnite, this is what Epic was saying. They used to send them to Epic Store. They would buy it at the Epic Store itself, and then it would be a part of your character. Apple currently, until this injunction again happened, would charge a fee for anybody that would do a purchase within the Apple environment itself. Now, they're also restricting developer-style formatting or placement of links for off-app purchases. They can't do that. So before, if you were trying to submit an app and you said, hey, come visit us online, then they would say, we're not going to publish you in the App Store. Blocking or limiting the use of buttons or other calls to action in the games. So if you're in a game and you want to buy something, you can buy it immediately. Interfering with consumers' ability to leave an app beyond providing a natural message apprising users that they're going to a third-party site. So Olivia Dalton, Apple's Senior Director of Corporate Communications, issued a statement asserting, we strongly disagree with the decision, but we will comply with the court's orders and we will appeal. Now, Tim Sweeney, CEO of Epic Games, announced that in light of their ruling, Fortnite will be returning to the U.S. App Store next week. Additionally, Sweeney has presented a peace proposal from Epic if Apple extends the court's friction-free, Apple tax-free framework worldwide. Will return Fortnite to the App Store worldwide and drop current and future litigations on the topic. So essentially they're saying if you keep with what the judge has ruled, and this is the second time now they've gone to this judge. So that she ruled first time it was illegal Apple. Apple did nothing. They went back and they talked about it. And Tim Cook's decision making.
Why should Apple do anything?
So they said, screw it, we're not going to do anything. And so they went to the second time. So Epic says, hey, we'll drop this lawsuit. I think Apple will absolutely lose the Epic lawsuit. I think it will be in the millions to billions of dollars that will be rewarded to Epic for this lawsuit in itself. They said that we'll stop right now if you just let us publish the deal. Now, Apple takes 30% in app purchases. So this is right now, if you order something for $10, you're paying $13 for the item itself. $10 only goes to the actual provider of the utility that would be available. And for doing absolutely nothing, Apple gets their 30%. This has now been removed. Now, Apple instituted a policy requiring developers to pay a 27% commissions on those transactions. So they collect 30% from the person. And then what the number that they have, so think of this as $10, then $2.70 has to be paid by the company. So they're making $3 on the transaction, $2.70. So when you're all said and done for a $13 transaction, the actual provider of the content that you're getting is getting less than $7 total in the transaction that's available there. So I believe this marks a significant shift for Apple and its future business practices moving forward. Do you think that Apple should be able to charge companies to do what they're doing?
Well, I don't know.
Explain it. I think you're both kind of 50-50.
This just goes back into what is ethical and necessary and how these billionaire companies are getting away with ripping off anybody they can rip off, right?
Yeah.
Because they're doing it, Meta's doing it, Amazon's doing it, everybody's doing it.
Yep.
And, it's kind of funny that we keep reporting on these court cases and Apple's just like throwing up the middle finger to
And they just say,
like, okay.
Thanks for your decision, but we're not changing a darn thing. All right.
Apparently she was a little peeved by that.
She is very says this is the wrong judge to have, and the continuing. So she decided to send it up a court for criminal investigations. That does not happen. So this judge is so messed up.
Yeah, I don't think the judge is messed up.
Well,
I think that
she's so pissed off. Sorry, I
think we talk about it quite a bit, but these companies, these huge mega corporations, are running roughshod over a lot of things, and they should be held accountable.
I agree. All right, you got story number 2. Hopefully it's a little bit nicer.
I don't know.
Okay.
Did you know that saying please and thank you to ChatGPT wastes millions of dollars?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Explain more.
Apparently, that is true. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, recently stated that users' courteous behavior towards AI chatbots, such as saying please and thank you, cost the company millions of dollars.
Okay.
When a user on X questioned how much OpenAI loses because of these polite actions, Altman replies that it totals tens of millions of dollars well spent.
Okay.
Although treating an AI chatbot with courtesy may seem trivial, experts believe that politeness influences AI interactions. Curtis Beaver's Microsoft Design Manager suggests that employing respectful language when communicating with AI helps generate respectful collaborative outputs. Essentially, polite requests establish a tone for responses that can lead to more effective and professional exchanges. A recent survey conducted in late 2024 found that 67% of AI users in the U.S. reported being polite to their chatbots. Among these users, 55% said it was because it's the right thing to do, while 12% did so to appease the algorithm in case of a potential AI uprising.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Though the idea of AI rebelling in the future may seem humorous, the environmental consequences of such interactions are very real. A study by the University of California and the Washington Post revealed that creating a simple 100-word email using AI requires 0.14 kilowatt hours of electricity, which is enough to power 14 LED lights for 1 hour. If someone sent one AI-generated email each week for an entire year, that would use 7.5 kilowatts of energy, approximately equal to the energy consumed by 9 households in Washington, D.C. for 1 hour. Given the enormous number of prompts and queries that an AI handles daily, the total energy consumption soon becomes astounding. Data centers that support these chatbots account for around 2% of the global energy usage, and this figure is projected to increase significantly as AI becomes further integrated into everyday life. Sam Altman stands by his assertion that being polite is worth tens of millions of dollars, emphasizing that the price tag pales in comparison to the value of old-fashioned courtesy.
All right, so let me ask you about that. Do you, when you are working with, because you use AI, you said you use AI to help you out. Do you say thank you to it?
I don't do it. I say thank you to Alexa when she does what I need her to do.
Okay, so you say thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just kind of ingrained in me. I don't do it when I'm typing out things.
All right.
That doesn't make any sense to me, but
Well, sometimes it prompts you back, is this the right response? And so I always respond, yes, thank you. So I
don't for some reason I don't translate it like that. When I'm talking to the frickin' Alexa thing and she does what I need her to do.
It's imposed like a voice, so you think it's like kind of like a person?
Well,
Persona?
yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of like that. Thanks Alexa. Oh, and she'll say you're welcome.
Yeah.
And then when she doesn't do what I want her to, and I call her all kinds of bad names, she just makes a funny sound and turns off.
Wow. Okay. Well, wow. I've never really got after my Alexa a whole lot.
I do all the time because I ask her queries, and her answer is like, I don't have the answer to that question. Like, why the hell do you exist?
Okay, well, turn on your lights.
I do it with my phone in my car too, and I'm driving around and I'm trying to do things with my phone.
Okay.
I've said things to it that it like comes back with like little things that say, just because I'm an AI chatbot doesn't mean I can't be hurt by these words.
Wow, you must be going after your AI chatbots a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess is that pent up energy you get to get out on the AI bot?
I figure when they take over, I need to be taken out as fast as possible. So I don't end up being a slave.
All right, this is a story for Odie here. Story number 3. Visa wants to give artificial intelligence agency your pocketbook. Now, these agents are designed to be more advanced. This is something that Visa is doing. Agents are designed to be more advanced than just chatbots. The tech sector has dedicated months to promoting AI personal assistants capable of understanding your needs and performing tasks on your behalf. Visa aims to change this by integrating your credit card with these AI agents. By setting a budget and preferences, these AI successors to ChatGPT and other chatbots could help you find and purchase items such as a sweater, weekly groceries, or even your airplane tickets. Now, last week, Visa announced a partnership with several leading AI chat developers, including U.S. companies Anthropic, Microsoft, OpenAI, Perplexity, and France's Mistral, to connect their AI systems with Visa's payment network. Visa is also collaborating with IBM online payment firm Stripe and phone manufacturer Samsung on this initiative. Now, the pilot projects will commence in the next couple of weeks with a broader rollout anticipated over the year. Now, the San Francisco payment company believes that this will be the futuristic way of making purchases. So we're already kind of doing this, if you think about it, with Apple Pay, that effectively turns your phones into a credit card. Now, think of similar vetting process for digital credentials that would empower AI agents to operate on the customer's behalf, assuring buyers, banks, and merchants that transactions are genuine and that Visa will then manage any disputes. Visa doesn't imply AI agents will fully take over the shopping experience. However, they might take over tasks for some tedious, like grocery shopping, home bills, home improvement items, or even maybe Christmas lists. But other items considered to be a little bit more complicated will still encourage people to purchase luxury goods, entertainment, and other items that customers wish to fully engage with the decision-making process. Are you concerned about credit cards taking over in purchasing? Now, let's just talk about what the Federal Reserve came on out, saying that over America right now, the consumer balance on credit cards has reached $1.21 trillion of debt that is owed out there on credit cards. Would you turn your AI bot over and let them purchase and manage your budget? Well, that's a lot of dead air there. All right, what are you thinking?
No.
What you would say? No.
That feels so weird.
Well, so this is what's happening.
Would you allow an AI chatbot to?
Does that mean that they're looking into everything that I'm doing and they know what I bought?
So they'll even suggest.
So odd.
So they will suggest for you on ways to save money. They'll suggest for you on ways.
I understand that part.
Okay, so now I use bill pay. So let me
and
just
then,
say,
and then it'll buy your groceries for you.
Yeah,
and
I
I
don't
also
like
use
that.
Apple. So we use Apple Pay. I use Apple Pay all the time. So
Mhm.
my phone is now a credit card with Apple Pay.
Yeah.
I do a lot of online bill pay or stuff.
I think most of us do online bill pay, but
So what's the difference of just having an AI bot take over your bill paying processes?
well, let's see. Visa being a for-profit company, maybe the more that they buy for you, the more they make.
Well, yes. So this is to compete with cryptocurrency. This is Visa's attack on cryptocurrency because cryptocurrency is gaining popularity. I was down at the local Kroger's here. You know, you can now pay for your groceries on both Ethereum and Bitcoin.
No,
That is now an option to check out. You got cash,
but that's what
check.
that was designed to do, right? It's designed to eventually get rid of regular currency.
That is. So Kroger now has an option where I can actually literally put in a bit. Now, I didn't do all the work for it, and I've heard that it's just cumbersome because you have to know your password. You have to know what your transaction is. But soon, if Apple Pay comes up with cryptocurrency holding, and I just go there and I Apple Pay, I put my phone up there, cryptocurrency pays for it, boom. Now Visa is making no more money on the transaction. That credit card companies disappear in seconds.
So why not in create an indentured servitude thing where Visa controls all your money and that's not where that's going.
Every day we get closer to Black Mirror.
We do.
Like, that's all I'm thinking about. I don't remember what the episode is called, but there's an episode where they basically take a tiny version of yourself and then keep them trapped in your head, and it's your own personal assistant. That's what I'm thinking about in this whole sense. That every day we're getting closer to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's not,
this is something
little
that
self.
seems innocuous when you first hear about it because it's saying, well, we're just going to do what you're already doing with these other companies. But pretty soon it'll be like, hey, you'll get a message and, hey, we noticed that you buy Diet Coke every other week. Do you want us to go ahead and do that for you automatically?
Yeah.
Sure.
No, I don't want that.
So it's called the memory device grain. That's what it was called. That little that was in there.
Yeah.
So that was what it was. Yeah. So
See, that's terrifying.
I'm actually kind of okay with it. I would actually probably be one of the early adopters of that.
Really?
Yeah, because I already have all my credit cards. They're already getting paid for my Comcast. They're already getting paid for
Nathan's
StreamYard. They're already getting
kissing up
paid
to the
for
AI.
I mean,
so
I
that
understand it in the
they
sense
keep
of
them
like
alive when
bill
they take
pay,
over.
not it be something like not having to think, but making purchases on its own
Yeah, I think
based on my history, I would hate that.
Okay, all right.
But helping me manage what I'm doing.
Do you like shopping though?
Yes.
I hate shopping. So you know what? I think as an early adopter of hating shopping, maybe that's the key. You know what? Go buy me a new sweater every 3 months when I need a new sweater. That'd be fantastic.
Who does that?
What?
Exactly.
Who
Thank you.
does that?
Thank you.
I use Stitch Fix. I get all my new clothes.
Yeah, because you
Oh.
hate shopping.
I do.
So this is
I-
ideal
That's
for
why you look like a schlub all the time.
Oh no! Come on. This. Come on. My guy from New York picked this out. This looks fantastic. All right.
Yeah, but that's a
It looks
person.
fantastic on a
That's not an
mannequin.
AI.
I don't know if it's a person anymore.
Okay.
I think it could easily be an AI. There's no reasons why it has to be a person.
This is
They
just
put a
surreal, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that ends our top technology stories of the week.
Does it?
Next, we dive into
When
our
are you going to
letters.
just have the AI just take over your slot here on the thing? Just set up a speaker,
There's
and I'll
no
just sit
way-
next to it, and he could just
We
make
just-
bad
bad jokes?
grammar and you know.
Wow. We're going to dive into our letter segment next, featuring scams submitted by listeners and some studio selected issues. Be sure you're listening and share this segment with a friend. Get ready as we hit 88 miles per hour on our way to the next segment. We'll catch you after this commercial break.
Looking for custom glass solutions for your next commercial project? Hartung Glass Industries is your trusted partner in custom glass fabrication. For over 100 years, Hartung has delivered proven manufacturing expertise, comprehensive product offerings, and dependable service and quality. From energy-efficient facades to custom shower doors, we create glass solutions tailored to your project needs. With 8 facilities across the U.S. and Canada, we combine national expertise with a local touch-ensuring faster service and unparalleled customer care. Hartung Glass Industries, where quality meets innovation. Visit hartungglass.com to learn more.
All right, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Our weekly show covers the top technology stories without any political agenda. We verify the facts, and we do it with a sense of humor in less than 60 minutes, and of course, with a little whiskey on the side. Today, Mark Gregoire, our whiskey connoisseur,
Resident chatbot.
is in studio and has our monthly tradition. Mark, explain to us what we're doing with this whiskey at the beginning of the month for all of the new listeners.
Yeah, today we're doing the 2024 Flavor Advent Calendar. This is our round 5. So we're using the Advent Calendar with 24 remarkable whiskeys to use for a year-long blind whiskey competition to see which one Nathan and Mike like best. Come along for the ride once every month while they uncover new tastes and train their senses to become true connoisseurs. Not sure how that's going, but we're trying.
I got 2 that I really like on this.
Today is round 5, where they will choose their winner to move on to the semifinals. If they disagree, I will be the deciding vote.
Oh boy. Okay, so this is group
Looks like
5.
we're disagreeing
Do
so
we
far.
how many preliminary rounds do we have?
6.
6. Okay, so after next month, when we get into June, we'll then start moving our way until we get into a winner. All right.
Right.
I like 2 of these a lot.
Let me tell you a little about today. Our samples are all bourbons. However, they're a mixture of blended straight bourbons and toasted finished bourbons. Now, a blended straight bourbon is a blend of 2 or more straight bourbons, possibly from different states or distilleries, but without any added neutral spirits, flavors, or coloring. Toasted finished bourbons are bourbons that undergo a secondary maturation in toasted barrels, often following initial aging in a traditional charred oak barrel. This finishing process imparts unique, often sweeter, more dessert-like flavors to the whiskey.
Okay. You know, I like 2 of these a lot. So are 2 of these toasted?
2 are toasted and 2 are blended.
I think I love the toasted. I think I have 2 of the toasted.
Oh, well, let's see which 2.
So this one and this one.
So that's the water glass.
yeah.
That one is a toasted.
Okay.
And what's the other one? The Glencairn. That one is a blend.
Oh, that's a blend.
Yeah, one of each.
Oh no. Okay. I thought I was getting the toasted. I'm starting to buy a lot of toasted. All right. Well,
You certainly are toasted. Is that what you said?
I'm going to be toasted.
Well, let all our listeners and viewers out there, don't forget to like and subscribe. Drink responsibly, especially when you're doing a lot of whiskey tasting, because heaven can wait.
All right, Mark. Thanks so much. All right. With our first whiskey tasting completed, let's move on to our feature segment. Today, we bring back the funny yet informative reading of emails that I received during the week. This includes scam, phishing emails, texting scams, and all-out mistruths disguised as legitimate emails in a segment we call Letters.
And the letters all have
All right, as we go around the table. We start with Odie first, then we'll go Mark, then we'll go Mike, and then we'll go myself. Now, let me just tell you, I'm going to be a little different today. I don't actually have a letter, but I'm going to be talking about a brand new scam that is hitting the markets. So that's kind of my gig. But let's start with you first, Odie. What do you have there?
I have something that says site scan.
Okay.
The scheduled site scan found one issue with scanning. and it says gsagamexpo.com.
Okay.
Okay. Known vulnerabilities, WordPress, and then it gives you some fun things. What action should I take? Go pro now or get solid security pro.
All right. So this is a standard. So if you have a website,
Yeah.
okay, if you own a website and you use a WordPress website, which is like now 95% of the market, and the 4% is like Wix, and then there's like 1% of custom HTML. If you have a WordPress site, what happens is there's plugins that you load, and a lot of them are security related, and a lot of them tell you when something's wrong or when something's right. It's really interesting right now with ChatGPT because you can actually just go to ChatGPT and ask them to write you a WordPress plugin, and it's about 80 to 90% inclusive of making sure that app actually works. So you don't even have to now download these pre-done apps or pay somebody for these, because you can actually have ChatGPT or Grok or some AI actually go and create code for you, and boom, it's ready to go. But this is a scam specifically on a WordPress site that I had once set up. It looks like there's some security vulnerabilities. As soon as I start looking into it, they start saying that I have more vulnerabilities. And as you keep on clicking and clicking and clicking, there's different software packages that will help correct and make my site safer. So not only does it tell me to buy one software, it tells me to buy a second software and a third software and a fourth software to keep the site up, when really there is absolutely nothing wrong with the site to begin with. So it's all kind of a scare tactic. Looks really good. You don't ever want to have your website vulnerable. So you're going to click on give me more information. And what happens is when you go and you start clicking on it, they start selling you other items. Now, they're not actually malicious.
That's what I was wondering.
They're not malicious items, but you don't need these items to fix your site. Your site is still fine. They're just giving you a false positive warning.
Placebo effect.
Yes.
What happens when Visa starts buying those things for you?
the plugins for I don't know if they're going to do
Next
that.
thing you know, you have like 80,000 plugins and you can't figure out where it is, and Visa's like smiling.
Also, it's important to note that looking at the email itself, it looks like a legit email.
It's pretty close, right?
You know?
It looks like a security email.
Other than the fact that it's gsagamexpo.com.
Yeah, so it's kind of a site. It was a site that I actually have purchased on GoDaddy, so they knew that I have the site. Now I don't have anything running on that site, so they shouldn't have expected that. So the thing is great scam. I don't have anything on that site, so when you're trying to tell me there's vulnerabilities, I don't have anything. That's just a park domain site, but still, their actual effort worked pretty good. If you had that site and that site was actually being used, I think I would have clicked on it and done a couple purchases. All right, Mark, we'll go to you next. What does your letter have?
Mine is pretty lame.
Oh, wow. Now he doesn't like, okay, well, hang on now.
It's lame from the spammers.
Okay.
So let me tell you. So it came from Citricom Billing, a.k.a. OmniNet, and it says it's an invoice, and it says, Dear Nathan Mumm, the attached invoice number, blah, 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 for $0 is due.
Yep.
Well, you put $0, I'm going to throw it in the trash, even if I think it's real.
So the AI, whatever AI engine, the actual attachment that they said, even though I said on the email that I owe $0, there's an attachment that came with it.
There's a PDF attachment.
Yeah, and the PDF attachment said that I owed $49.
Okay.
So somehow maybe they fat fingered it in their deal and didn't realize that it should have been a 49.
They missed a 4 and a 9.
And a 4 to 9, and they just put $0
Could they have made it so the PDF contained a virus?
They could have made it so a PDF contained a virus. This one actually didn't have a PDF that did contain a virus. But this is not a legit company that was trying to do an invoice. What this does do, though, in your spam filters is if I let this through and I don't flag it as spam because it's $0 and I just keep it in my inbox, the next time they send an email and the next time they send an email, it will just automatically come into my inbox because I haven't really deleted them. There was no reason for me to necessarily delete it because it's $0. So I'll just let it kind of hold out in my inbox, which then creates a false sense of
Did this
security.
actually come into your inbox or did this come into your spam folder?
No, it came into my inbox.
Oh, it actually made it through the spam.
Yeah, because they've sent me a couple others at $0 that I just kept in my inbox and I never really deleted. And so now all of a sudden they come in there, and when the next time they want to charge me $60, $90 or whatever, they're going to be right there.
So what you're recommending then is right click on it and say mark as spam.
I should do that. But then I have about 2,000 unread emails. So I'm not a very good job. I grew up in the Gmail era where you could just have like all of your items in your inbox and you'd star them. You didn't have categories back in the day. You would just star them in your inbox. And so I developed the habit of having like 20 gig inboxes. So yeah. Okay. All right. continuing on, we'll talk about my bad processes of my inbox.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
All right, what do you have here? Yours is scary.
Mine is?
Yeah, I almost clicked on yours.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's why it's scary.
That's
Because you
why
almost clicked on it. Okay.
it is from
Yeah.
501c3 Center Company.
Okay.
With hello at my501c3center.com. And 501c3 is a not-for-profit classification. And this headline says, review and file your 990, which I'm assuming is a tax form for a 501c3.
That is correct. Yep.
Hello, Courtyard Media Foundation.
Okay.
And that is your 501c3.
That is correct.
This is a reminder that in order to maintain the status of 501c for Courtyard Media Foundation, the IRS requires you to file a Form 990 annually. If you haven't filed for the year ending 12/31/2024 yet, now is the time to do so. To file your annual 990 in series with our assistance, please click the link below. So did you click the link or did you almost click the link? You always click the link to follow the scan.
So I actually clicked this on my main machine. And then I had to send it over to my other machine to actually take a look at it. So I did click on it, and it came on up. This was right when it's like April 28th. I'm like, okay, this is the deal. What's going on here? I looked at the title quickly. It kind of sounded like it was legit, and I did click on it.
Yep, you got psychologically taken advantage of.
I did. So not everybody's always perfect, but
no, that's how they get us. They will always get us at some point, because at some point we are not paying enough attention.
Now, what I will say is that it's supposed to take you to the IRS to get your form, right? So it took you to a mocked version of the IRS.
Oh, they tried to fake it.
They tried to fake it, but now the IRS website is blue. So if you ever go and file anything with the United States, almost all of the governmental websites use blue as a primary color. So this website had yellow as a primary color. Probably the worst color to choose to alert somebody when you're going to the fake web page and all of a sudden say, this does not
No,
look.
that sounds really good because they just peed all over you.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So that
Sounds like it. That sounds like it.
So the website actually is what triggered me. And I go, this does not look right. I know all government sites are normally blue. Now, in the state of Washington, it's very green. So, I mean, we have normally colors that are profound with each of the states that you are in and have stuff taken care of. So that was it.
Well, could you also, after you click on the link, couldn't you just look if it was a .gov?
I did look up there too. But the first thing that came on up was it was just yellow. It was just yellow.
Still, the link is just a bunch of gibberish.
Yep.
It's KBOJ-ZGPM.
Yeah, but you don't see that link until you print it out, right? So when you just see the HTML that was there, the HTML was covered, so I did not see that itself.
You didn't hover your mouse over it, which is a little trick.
I was in a hurry, so I had some bad.
You need to listen to TechTime Radio's letter segment.
This is where psychology works against you. This is what Visa is counting on.
Oh, you're going on that Visa thing.
I'm just going to hang on Visa because that's ridiculous.
I'm going to ask you a question about Visa.
Yeah, I know. You already know my answer, too.
All right, well, I don't know your answer necessarily. All right, here we go. Here's mine. Now, everybody listen up to this one.
All right.
Okay, Odie, are you ready? Because I don't know if you've gotten this. Have you received a package from Amazon or one of your retailers that all of a sudden had a QR code inside of your package and asked you to fill out a survey for them? Or have you received something where you purchased from Amazon or an online store and it had a QR code in there and it asked you to give them feedback or to give them a rating? Sometimes they even incentivize you to do this and give you money for a positive rating. Then all you got to do is show it to them and boom, they'll give you some money back on PayPal or through another area. Or received a box that you did not know where it was coming from with a QR code on the outside. Has that happened to you?
The only time I've ever written a review is if I really love the product or if I really hate the product.
But let me just ask you, have you gotten a QR code in a package? No. You've never gotten a QR code in a package?
Probably, but I'm not going to click on it.
I have.
Okay, you have. Mark, have you done it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so guess what? The newest scam that's going on is that people are actually selling products, putting in malware in the QR codes. So what happens is you open your phone to give a review, You scan it because it's getting so easy, and you just think, okay, I've done it before, and there hasn't been a problem. So these new scammers are actually working with low-end products. So let's say you buy a cheap headset, or you buy some cheap knockoff iPods, or some type of speaker system, or anything, a cable. You get that rating in there. Now what fraudulent people are doing is putting in QR codes that immediately load malware on your phones and take over your phones when you do that QR code.
Okay.
Huge hit that is hitting right now. And it is called now, what it is a brushing scam. That's its new term of a brushing scam, where the thieves essentially are giving you access to information, working with the person that is actually selling the product to provide a QR code that they don't really care about the survey with, but immediately captures your phone. If this happens to you and you do scan this QR code, it will immediately shut down your phone, brick your phone, lock your phones, or immediately send information on the back end to this third party that has an open portal to your phone itself. Treat QR codes the same way you do links now. With
What's
emails.
the point of bricking somebody's phone?
What was the point of bricking somebody's phone?
Yeah.
Just to cause them grief.
So it's just a griefing
Yeah,
thing?
just a griefing thing. But if I am buying some cheap headphones from China, and
Maybe that's what happened to my old phone.
So did your own phone just stop working?
Yeah, it just stopped working.
Did it really?
Yeah, but I don't think I scanned a QR
It could have been. It could have been. Could have been that you did a QR code, and
maybe it got bricked.
It could have been bricked. So treat QR codes the same way now. Do not click on them immediately on your phone. There are new companies that are coming up with ways to actually have QR code antivirus processes that will create a portal that will verify the QR code is correct, but be careful.
At what point do we as a culture or a race or whatever just go, this is absolutely ridiculous?
I don't know. So I use QR codes for a huge marketing event that I do. I have them all over the local town.
That's why they work. They're easy.
You can take them from away. You can order tickets from it immediately when you just go up. You scan by it. So mine are legit. Now I'm worried about my marketing. If this gets out there, now I'm kind of sad because I'm going to lose all that momentum of what I actually have there.
I'm gonna go dig my virus QR code and paste it right over all your stickers.
Is that what you're gonna do?
Oh, yeah, on the posters. Yeah.
See, this is how laziness works in your favor.
What's that?
I get those things and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
You just don't fill them out.
I don't fill out surveys. I don't fill out. I don't scan QR codes. I'm like, this is too much. This is too much cognitive load. I'm not doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the same bracket with Mike.
Okay.
The only way that I feel like they would get me is if, like somebody like Mark puts a false QR code on top of the real one of something like a restaurant, and then I'm screwed.
Well, just think of all the places that you go to and you now do a QR code for a menu.
Well, that's how I got in trouble.
That's what I'm saying.
That's how I got in trouble with that parking thing.
Yes, you did.
Because somebody had a QR code.
And you scanned it.
And I scanned it,
legit.
and suddenly, now I had to go and get my cards changed because they had my card numbers. Like, F this.
Yeah, you got to be careful. All right. That ends our positive segment we call letters.
Positive.
Didn't you have a letter?
I just
you just did it.
I just did the whole thing. All right, there you go.
I must have missed that. I was thinking too much.
Yeah, you're on the AI visa kick. So let's move on to Mike's mesmerizing moment.
Welcome to Mike's mesmerizing moment. What does Mike have to say today?
All right, Mike, would you like to have an AI bot that purchases standard items and manages your financial situation?
What do you think?
Well,
no.
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 Because actually, I said yes. So I mean,
that's because you want to flirt with Dan. Did you ever do you? I bet you money that you did the old what are those called? B&G or
B&G.
What was it? What the CD of the month clubs? Remember those?
Yeah. Columbia Club.
Columbia House.
That.
Yes.
I did that too. It was for tapes
That's
back in my day.
That's exactly what this is. It's a modern day Columbia House
No,
thing.
I got 10 tapes for $1.
I know.
And then I just had to get one tape for 12 months.
Yeah, but then you had to pay, right?
Yeah, so then I had to pay like $10 for 12 months.
Or you had to send it back. So they were just saying, if you don't like this, send it back.
Well, you had to send it back within a week.
Right.
And back in the postal
mail,
service, you'd never get it back in a week.
And the point was that it was making it so hard for you to send it back that you would just pay.
So I
the
picked
money.
out all my rock and roll, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses,
This is
all
what
that.
this is.
And guess what I got? All the rest of the months I got country. So then all of a sudden I got into countries. So Kenny Chesney, all these other type of stuff. So
these are horrible services. You're right, Mike.
I swear, this is bad. Would I recommend this for anybody? No. The more you don't do, the more effort you give away to something else.
Yeah.
The more you're going to be taken advantage of.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but
right.
that's what these folks are trying to do. We spend an entire lifetime around staving off all this information that we're getting to just live a life. You can't even walk through a day without being told, if you don't use Tide, you're a sucker, or,
Okay.
So
buy
Nathan,
this car because it's more awesome than that car.
So Mike just made his point. What's your counterpoint? Because you actually signed up for this service.
Well, as I said, I'd be a part of their
Because he's lazy
beta,
in the other
their beta
direction.
No, I think it'd be great to have an AI bot. Don't you think so?
So you signed up for the beta.
Not.
So why don't we should do maybe in a few months come back and do a Nathan Nugget on it.
Well, there you go. So my financial bot's
you
gonna be
also
his
do-
name's gonna be
you
Dave
do-
Ramsey.
You do. You just want me to say that on there, don't you?
Get ready on the
F
bleep
that guy.
Be careful on the button. All right, there. I know. I was just thinking about when you were doing it. I'm like, what am I going to name my AI bot? I had something else, and that'd be like.
Do you do auto pay?
I do.
Are you an auto pay?
Yes, all
Do
my
you-
stuff is on auto pay.
Okay.
Everything.
Do you go back and check your auto pay?
I know.
So how is it that you
Kind
don't
of.
know you're getting taken advantage of?
Kind of. So I'll look at the Chase almost every other day in my bank account, and if it looks like it's something off, then I'll be like, I need to check that.
I mean, I use auto pay for certain things.
Okay.
But I have to go and check to make sure that I'm being billed properly, because I know somewhere there along the line somebody's going to misbill me, and I'm going to lose money somewhere.
That happens. That happens. You know what?
I don't think it's accidental either.
Let me just tell you, I got an email from my DeLorean group that I paid for. Oh, I'm gonna have to talk about that.
Oh, yeah,
all right,
yeah.
okay. Thank you for that
Okay.
mesmerizing moment.
Yeah, that was certainly
All
mesmerizing.
right, we're gonna
don't do it.
We're gonna head out to a commercial
bad.
break. When we return, we have This Week in Technology. So now is a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we're gonna be doing so during the break. See you in a few minutes.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so you know what? We need people to start liking our social media pages.
If you like our show, if you really like us, we could use your support on patreon.com.
Or is it Patreon? I think it's Patreon.
Okay, Patreon. If you really like us, you can.
And you say I'm
like
the
us
English
in
guy?
Patreon.com.
I butcher the English language?
You butcher the English
Okay,
language
so it's
all the time.
It's Patreon.com.
Patreon.com. If you really like our show, you can subscribe to Patreon.com and help us out.
Oh, and you can visit us on that Facebook platform. You know, the one that Zuckerberg owns?
The one that we always bag on?
Yeah, you can. We're on Facebook, too.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.
Do you know what our Facebook page is?
TechTime Radio.
At TechTime Radio.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a trend here.
It seems to be that there's a trend, and that's TechTime Radio.
Or you can even Instagram with us.
And that's at TechTime Radio.
That's at TechTime Radio. Or you can find us on TikTok.
And it's TechTime Radio.
It's at TechTime Radio.
Like and subscribe to our social
Like
media.
us today. We need you to like us.
Like us and subscribe. That's it?
That's it. That's that simple.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we're going to go all the way back to May 11th, 1997. Deep Blue defeats Kasparov in a chess tournament. The IBM Computer and Artificial Intelligence Deep Blue defeats reigning chess champion and one of the greatest chess players of all time, Garry Kasparov, in the sixth and deciding game of the tournament match, thus becoming the first time a computer defeated a chess champion in match play. The defeat as a reigning chess champion at the hands of artificial intelligence made headlines around the world and marked a milestone in the development of AI and machine learning. From this early landmark moment, the advancement of computer power and machine learning has created even more powerful artificial intelligence that can perform more complex tasks in seconds versus the human brain. Well, that was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some tech time history with over 240 plus weekly broadcasts spanning our 4+ years of video, podcasts, and blog information, you can visit us online at techtimeradio.com and watch our older shows. We're going to head out for a commercial break. When we return, we have our Mark Mumble Whiskey Review. See you after the break.
Attention, all geeks and pop culture enthusiasts. Get ready for the ultimate celebration of everything geek at Geek Fest West Game Expo, July 18th through the 20th in downtown Everett, Washington. Join us for 3 thrilling days packed with cosmic cosplay, gaming tournaments, retro movies, and a street fair brimming with unique vendors. From the innovative Geektopia Vendor Hall to the Galactic Time Warp showcasing beloved film classics, including Ghostbusters, The Wrath of Khan, and our special 40th anniversary showing of Goonies. There's something for everyone. Plus, participate in interactive events, from keynote speakers each day to special guest artists. Tickets are on sale now. Secure your spot for this epic celebration at geekfest.com. Get your badges from one-day passes to VIP options and don't be left out. Visit geekfest.com. Geekfest West, the biggest gathering of geek fandom in Snohomish County.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
You know, Mark, how I know Nathan's not an AI bot yet?
How's that?
How's that, Mike?
Because he still messes things up like Gary Kasparov.
Is it Kasparov or Kasparov?
It's Kasparov.
Kasparov. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll see. Listeners.
That's how I know.
Is it Gary Kasparov or is it Gary Kasparov?
It's Kasparov.
Okay. So you
He's a
listener-
He's a Russian grandmaster.
I know that. All right. So you listeners, you need to say, is Nathan right or is Mike right?
Yeah, you know who's right.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to our pick of the day.
Not AI Nathan.
Today, May 6th, we are celebrating a day that we are all currently celebrating right now.
Kasparov Day.
That would have been a good guess.
That would have been a good one. Whiskey Day.
It's pretty close.
Okay.
National Beverage Day.
Oh, I like National Beverage Day.
Now, we could not be more excited about National Beverage Day. The day encourages us to sit back, relax, and enjoy your favorite beverage. Beverages come in many forms, and the good news is there's one for every taste. The only thing that matters is that you pick up and make some of your favorite gathering with friends and family. So
Kool-Aid.
get ready to enjoy and unwind.
Oh, I like some sweet tea. A little sweet tea.
Well,
What?
Sweet tea. Have you ever been in the South? They always do sweet tea.
That's
like
not
sweet
how
tea?
that's not how they say it in the South. It's
Okay.
not sweaty. It's
Sweet
not
tea.
sweaty.
A little sweet tea. Okay.
well, in celebration today, we have 4 beverages we are sipping on, and I did write with friends, but I'm not sure right now.
Okay, well, you guys have us all getting liquored
He's
up.
sweaty.
So let me just tell you, the show gets a little bit more, the first of the month show is a little bit more degraded as we drink through all of our shots.
Do you have a favorite yet? Or are you still deciding?
I do have a favorite. I absolutely have a favorite. This is my favorite right here by far.
And Mike, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, that's my
Oh,
favorite.
wow.
Oh, you guys agree.
We're agreeing so
Wow.
far.
I don't
Wow.
even have to drink. So you guys all chose the one in the water glass, which is Yellowstone Special Finishes Collection Toasted.
Oh,
It's from Lux Row, which is now owned by MGP Ross and Squid. It's from Kentucky. This is a finished straight bourbon, so it is toasted. 4 years, 100 proof, $52.
okay. All right.
And then do you have a worst one?
Yes, this shot glass. I am not liking the shot glass.
Mine's in the
So yours is
Third.
in reverse order. Oh, okay.
Third
okay.
position. Well, that one is Penelope Toasted Series. Now, this was the one for November or December 24th. This is the special one.
Okay.
That they put into the wine.
Okay.
Or into the box.
Okay.
Man, I haven't even been drinking. I'm all over the place.
Oh, you got a lot of drinks over there too.
I was
don't
thinking
know.
about all their different favorite beverages.
Okay. All right.
So this one is also from MGP Ross and Squid. It's distilled in Indiana. It's a finished straight bourbon, roughly 5 years, 100 proof, and this one is $70. This is the
Okay.
most expensive one.
Okay. That's good that my taste decided to go with the kind of the $50 bottle.
Did you have a close second?
I did. So my second would have actually been here. So that would have been
The Glencairn?
Yep.
What about you, Mike? Mike's that was his number 2 also.
Yeah.
No, this is my number 2.
Yeah. So we're the same. We're the same.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
my
yeah.
number 2. That's my
Okay.
number 2.
So that one, number 2 was Millum and Green Whiskeys. They're triple cask bourbon. So this is a blend of straight bourbons from Texas,
Okay.
Kentucky, and Tennessee.
Oh.
Non-age stated, 94 proof, $47.
Okay.
And then the one that was kind of in the middle, kind
Mike's
of
last.
for everybody.
Yep.
Oh, Mike's. No, Mike's.
No.
No, it
Yeah,
wasn't
that would
Mike's
be
one.
my last. I'm having trouble because they all taste pretty good. So
No, actually, the one I just read
rearranging.
there was Mike's last.
Okay.
Glen
Okay.
Cairn.
Okay.
So the one in the beer glass,
Yeah.
which is Mike's second.
That's my second. Yeah,
And that is my
that's
second.
his second. Yeah.
Yep.
That's your second. Okay, so your second is the beer glass. That is the Wise Man. That is a blend of straight bourbons from the Stoli Group. It's a blend of 4 Kentucky whiskeys, 4 to 8 years old, 90.8 proof, $60.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. We'll see what our pick of the day is, but I'm sure I'm not changing. All right. Well, with whiskey and technology, such a great pairing, just like C-3PO and R2-D2.
Oh,
Remember, yesterday was Revenge of the
Yes.
Sith Day on May 5th, right? So you have May 4th, then you have May 5th, Revenge of the Sith, and then we have today the 6th.
Why is May 5th, besides Cinco de Mayo, the Sith thing?
Well, that's they've added it now. So Star Wars is trying to keep on going on with different. You've heard of that before, haven't you, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's going to make me drink.
All right. There you go. Let's now prepare for our technology fail of the week, brought to you by Elite Executive Services.
Congratulations. You're a failure.
Oh, I failed, did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right. This week's technology fail comes to us from Uber. Now, Julia faced every parent's worst nightmare when her 5-year-old daughter was inadvertently taken away in an Uber while sleeping in the back seat. Realizing the error, she immediately contacted Uber, seeking to contact the driver to swiftly find her child. However, Uber refused to give contact information, citing company policy. Instead, they required the Toronto police to submit an official request via their emergency disclosure form, accessible only through the Public Safety Response Portal or by email. Now, this bureaucratic process hindered the efforts to locate this child. Bureaucratic.
That I actually like that one because it sounds like necrotic.
Okay, there you go. Although Uber was unwillingly to provide direct help, Toronto police managed to trace the driver through other channels. Upon arrival, the officer found the child safe but understandably distressed. The girl had been unknowingly transported about 20 miles away from her initial drop-off point. Now, Julia, the mom, felt relieved but enraged by Uber's lack of immediate support. Now, as compensation, Uber offered a $10 credit, which Julia deemed deeply insulting. Now, Uber justified its actions by stating that its policies aim to protect the privacy of both riders and drivers. Nonetheless, critics claim the incident exposed a significant flaw in emergency response procedures within the gig economy, when efficiency often comes at the expense of customer service. Now, technology analyst Camry Levy pointed out that traditional transportation services usually have direct customer support systems, while companies like Uber depend on strict protocols that can complicate the urgent situation. Julia has since intensified her efforts, demanding policy reforms that would ensure Uber prioritizes the safety of minors in similar circumstances. She asserts that no financial compensation would have been adequate without the implementation of a clear emergency protocol to prevent similar incursions for their families.
Sue.
All right, so what do you think there? So Odie had it. What are you saying there?
Okay, I am not blaming the mom at all. I want that to be very clear.
Okay.
But Uber does not allow minors to ride alone.
Okay.
They what do you call it?
There's a policy.
There's a policy,
Yeah.
and they just started doing it with teens, that teens can now ride alone or have their own accounts. So I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't let a 5-year-old alone in somebody's car by themselves.
Okay,
Well,
so she was unloading.
That
So
wasn't
she
what
had-
happened.
She was unloading. She forgot that her kid was in the back. She probably
She forgot.
She did. She forgot the kid.
Did she forget, or
No,
did she just unload and
They
the guy
were-
just took off?
Well, according to what I read, they were discussing about how to move all these groceries or whatever and get the kid, and the Uber driver just took off.
Yes.
Then I take it back.
Okay, take it back.
Okay.
So
with
okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Blip, blip, blip.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Although still, if you're an Uber driver, this is what I would say. You shouldn't be leaving. And if you have to go 20 miles until you realize you have somebody in your back seat.
Well, a
are
sleeping
you-
kid is pretty quiet.
Yeah. Also, they're a 5-year-old. So they're pretty small. Depending how you're sitting, are you going to be able to see them in the rearview
I would
mirror?
expect as an Uber driver, you always check to make sure if somebody leaves your deal.
The whole situation is not the problem. The problem is where
Should have been a $20
the
gift card.
bureaucratic policies come into play Yeah, it should have been $20.
It should have been $20. I mean, yeah,
that's the real problem is that it should have been $20 instead of $10.
Yeah.
No, it's the bureaucratic nonsense that went into play. The woman called, told Uber that their 5-year-old daughter was still in this car, and they were like, "Well, company policy tells me that you have to call the police, and the police have to do this and that and this and that."
I understand where they're coming from though, because they're covering their own.
And their driver, right? They don't want you can just get
and
a
I
hold of the driver.
understand that,
Okay.
but this is a child
This
that's
isn't an
missing.
emergency situation.
Yeah.
That there should be policies that supersede these
Privacy.
nonsense privacy things.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now let's move on to our technology fail of the week.
We just did that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Our Nathan Nugget. Sorry. I'm thinking our Nathan Nugget.
You're celebrating Beverage Day.
Nathan's been celebrating Beverage Day a little bit longer than he should.
Thanks, buddy. Let's move to our Nathan Nugget.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
I got a lot of whiskey in me. All right. The recent publication of a deeply flawed AI-generated diagram in a respected scientific journal underscores a troubling reality. Now, we've had James on, and he talked about this. All right. So this is going back to James on our shows on a couple months ago. Now, the increasing risk of errors in academic research due to unchecked artificial intelligence. Now, the journal Frontiers in Cell and Development Biology had to retract a paper after discovering that it contained a biological inaccurate illustration of a rat, one with bizarre distortion, including 4 testicles and non-essential labels. Now, this incident is more than just an embarrassing mistake. It reflects a growing concern in the scientific community. AI-generated content is rapidly making its way into research, but without proper oversight, it threatens to undermine the credibility of medical literature. Scientific journals serve as the cornerstone of knowledge, guiding medical advancement, treatments, and public health decisions. When errors like this slip through the cracks, this casts a doubt on the reliability of peer-reviewed studies and highlights the danger of over-reliance on automation without human verification. All right. In our role of AI, we had a medical journal.
And yet.
It had a rat with that wasn't even a rat. It had the rat actually was sitting up in a chair.
Was it an AI generated rat?
It was an AI generated rat with four man parts that were included in the diagram.
Balls.
And then it was also mislabeled, and this got peer reviewed and published into our large language model systems across our AI platforms.
Okay, all right.
So it wasn't. So when I said let's do a technology fair,
I have to ask an obvious question here.
Yeah,
you're ranting about a rat with 4 nuts getting put on a scientific journal, right? And how bad that is.
Yeah.
And yet you're going to allow Visa to pay your bills.
You can't get off that Visa
I'm
thing,
not
can
going to
you?
get off
that Visa thing is going to be your new. I got anytime I need something, Odie, you're going to have to reclip this show. Because anytime I need something, I'm just going to say, how do you feel about your Visa AI?
Confucius say rat with 4 balls not run fast.
Okay.
The other problem with that, too, with the large language models is that's compounding, because you can't just go there and pull that data out.
No, because once it gets published, then it gets replicated and replicated and replicated.
Unless you were to start completely over, and that's the problem with these large language models that have problems with them, is we're not starting over, and so these issues just keep compounding and compounding.
Yep. All right.
It's like a virus.
So now you're going to have pictures all online of rats with four balls. All right, there you go. Let's move on to our pick of the day whiskey tasting.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right. Okay. We are doing our flavor calendar.
Yep.
Round 5. And I question whether you guys are connoisseurs or not, but I will say I was tasting, and my number 1 is both your number 1.
Wow, look at that.
And not only that, my order is exactly Mike's order. So, Mike, you are the connoisseur of today.
Oh, wow. There you go.
So,
okay.
number 1 was in the water glass.
Yep.
The Yellowstone Special Finishes Collection Toasted. Number 2, which is in the beer glass, the Wise Man, which is a blend of straight bourbons 4. Number 3 was Penelope Toasted Series in the shot glass. and that is finished straight bourbon. And the fourth one, which actually is my thumbs down of all of them, was the
I'd say it's
Millum
the thumb
and
down,
Green triple cast bourbon in the Glencairn.
So give a thumbs up for
Which is
everybody,
a
but the
blended
last
straight
one.
bourbon.
The last one should be a thumbs
thumbs
down.
up, a thumbs up.
Thumbs ups.
What about for you? Any thumbs down for you, Mike?
I didn't have any real thumbs down. I kind of liked all of them.
Okay.
But,
All right, guys. Lots of whiskey today. Lots of craziness. Thank you so much, listeners, for joining our program. Remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. We will see you next week.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, mum's the word.